my friends, and today's activity isn't the lowest. But let's start with the fact that shelling from Russian territory in the border villages of Chernihiv, Sumy and Kharkiv regions continues. Meanwhile, in Kharkiv, according to the mayor's statement, all critical infrastructure objects have been destroyed. And in Russian Belgorod, after another explosion, a fire was reported. However, as before, no new offensive actions from the Russian Volunteer Corps have been recorded, so it seems that's all for now. Now let's move on to the situation along the front line, starting immediately with the Bakhmut direction. Here, it seems that we will soon witness the toughest battles, as today there is a maximum number of shelling both near Chasiv Yar itself and its outskirts. Moreover, the General Staff reports that the occupiers are again conducting offensive actions towards Chasiv Yar itself. As you may recall from the previous update, yesterday the occupiers announced their advancement in the forest near Bogdanivka, closer to Chasiv Yar, and declared that there are only 650 meters left to the outskirts of Chasiv Yar. Thus, we see that the situation around the city is deteriorating, and no one hides anymore that tough battles for the city will soon begin. Meanwhile, the battles for Ivanivsk continue, and the occupiers are still trying to advance in the area of Klishchiivka. They, as before, don't concentrate all their forces on one section of the front and try to advance on a wide front to disperse the Ukrainian forces, as they understand that our fighters are approximately 6 times fewer than the Russians. Therefore, it will be more difficult for the Ukrainian forces. Overall, we are waiting to see how events will unfold further. In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers continue to storm Berdychi, while only shelling is reported in the Semenivka and Umanska areas. All Russian offensive actions haven't led to success. Now they are attempting to intensively shell the positions of the Ukrainian forces in order to try to break through again after another artillery preparation. Shelling is occurring both along the front line and in the rear. Strikes are being made both in Kharkivka and in Ocheretine, and further south, battles in the area of Pervomaiske also continue. The fact that the Russians have raised a flag in the village is not commented on by the Ukrainian side yet, but most likely this village is already in the gray zone, and there, perhaps, all Russian attacks are being halted using FPV drones and artillery, so we are still waiting for details. In the Marinka direction, the occupiers continue to storm Georgiivka and Novomykhailivka. However, as before, everything is without success and the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Vuhledar, some very interesting information has emerged today. So the General Staff, in official reports, states that the Russians conducted assaults in the areas of Staromayorsk, Urozhaine and Velyka Novosilka. Apparently, the Russians have decided to bypass the settlements because they cannot directly capture them and are attempting to break through the fields towards Velyka Novosilka. These are very desperate moves by the Russians. Although the Ukrainian forces successfully stopped them, the main question lies in the location of the defense line. So, if the Russians can break through the fields today directly towards Velyka Novosilka and even engage in combat there, which is approximately 4.5 kilometers from the front line, it raises serious concerns. So, if anyone knows the answer to this question, please write your version in the comments. However, there are still successes for the Ukrainian forces in this direction. Yesterday, a video was published showing that the Ukrainian flag was installed at an industrial enterprise. However, geolocation experts determined that this plant is located in Volodymyrivka, which is currently under Russian control. So it appears that the Ukrainian forces were able to break through to temporarily occupied territory and install the Ukrainian flag there. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers have once again changed the direction of their attacks and are now advancing again through the fields near Verbove. However, in the Robotina area, all attacks from yesterday were unsuccessful and the front line remains unchanged, but shelling continues intensively along the entire front line. In the direction of Kherson, the occupiers continued to assault the village of Krinky several times a day, and shelling of the right bank persists. However, all their actions don't lead to a change in the situation, and they don't achieve any success. Additionally, it's reported that there were explosions in Kakhovka yesterday evening, suggesting that another occupant base may have been destroyed. Meanwhile, in the Siversk direction, there has been increased activity from the Russians. Besides assaulting Bilohorivka, they have now begun attacks in the area of Spirne and attempted to break through to Ivanodaryevka. So it's evident that they are now trying to advance here as well, but they haven't achieved any success in the past day and the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Crimea, shelling has intensified again, and offensive actions towards the village of Terny continue. However, they haven't achieved any success as before, and the front line remains unchanged. In the area of Svatove, there is minimal amount of shelling, but in the direction of Kupiansk, the occupiers have decided to conduct a large-scale artillery preparation today. So in addition to strikes on the frontline villages, they shelled the towns of Kupiansk and Kupiansk-Uzlovy. Perhaps this signals preparation for a new wave of attacks, but as of today, no offensive actions have been recorded and the front line remains unchanged. Today, foreign analysts are publishing fresh satellite images showing the new defensive lines of Ukraine. So if this information is already publicly available, then no secrecy is being revealed and we can discuss this situation. So it's evident that the number of defensive lines has significantly increased, particularly in the Zaporizhia direction. So Ivan Fedorov has constantly shown ongoing construction efforts with the defense line located approximately 8 kilometers from the city of Chernihiv. Similarly, the situation in the Vuhledar direction is promising, where the defensive line starts after Velyka Novosilka and extends westward. However, these fortifications are situated 15 kilometers from the front line. The most intriguing situation is in the Avdiivka direction, where even Pokrovsk is mentioned. As in this direction from Avdiivka, the Russians will attempt to move towards Pokrovsk. And here, we practically observe a complete absence of defensive lines, except for one extensive defensive line near Novoalexandriivka. Other areas show sporadic fortifications, so indicating ongoing construction. Detailed insights into this situation are welcome in the comments. In the Kramatorsk direction, despite fewer extensive defensive lines compared to Avdiivka, there are significantly more sporadic fortifications. However, examining the Russian defensive lines marked in red and orange, it's evident that they consist of continuous and wide defensive lines with multiple levels of fortifications. So clearly, they have been actively constructed for nearly 2 years. And today, the Ukrainian forces express dissatisfaction with the timing of the construction of defensive lines, highlighting concerns that these efforts are being undertaken only now rather than half a year ago.
They began to dig a line of defense. It's beautiful, yes, massively. Even where it should be, and not where it should be, according to the accounting journals. We are talking about a separate section of the front. It's fucking late, but we started. The front is already quite close to the line that should have been ready for the second line a year and a half ago. The brigades of diggers will most likely begin to be hit, well, because in the potential zone of destruction. The guys will pay with their lives and health for the stupidity and irresponsibility of high commanders. Digging is not enough. Concrete needs to be poured. Massive, deep. But again, the front is already too close, the line of contact is dynamic, and, unfortunately, dynamic in our direction. It is very dangerous to start such a massive construction. It was necessary to do it a year and a half ago, when we had approximately plus 10 kilometers. This is not for you to shift the pavement in Kiev.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.